After sketching out the general shape of our bracket base, we'll want to finish it off using relations and dimensions. I generally start off throwing in the relations and then finish it off with dimensions. So let's take a look at some of the relations of this sketch. If I click on my leftmost vertical line here, just clicking on that opens up the line properties of that line. And you have options for existing relations and the ability to add relations. I could add a vertical or horizontal relation, but it already has an existing vertical relation, and I can also see that with this green vertical line box here. So let's take a look at adding some additional relations. If I click on my bottom line, for example, I don't see any relations coming in, any green boxes or any existing relations showing up in this box. So I might want to add a relation. I can make this line vertical, or what I'd actually like in this case is horizontal. So I'll click horizontal. Notice that line has automatically jumped horizontal, added the horizontal relation. I can hit the green check to finish this off. And now, when I'm clicking on this line, I should see that green horizontal relation showing up. Similarly, I can do the exact same thing on my right-hand side line here. I'll grab this, and in addition to popping up on my line properties here, relations will also pop up within a pop-up shortcuts. So as soon as I click on the line here, I have some pop-up shortcuts here, and I have relations there as well. So I can again make straight from here horizontal or vertical. This is just maybe a little bit faster or more efficient way to do our sketching and design. So I'm going to say make vertical, and that line should automatically jump to vertical. And if I click on it again, I should see the vertical relation coming in now. Finally, I might just need to finish off this arc at the top. So I think I want these to be tangent. So to include a tangent relation, I actually need to multi-select both the line and the arc and tell them to be tangent to each other. So I can grab this line, for example, and multi-select the arc. So I just want to hold down the Control key to multi-select. And now notice I have both of these entities, both the line and the arc are highlighted, and I have a tangent relation available. So I can click make tangent, and now that has made my arc tangent to my line. And then I just want to do the same on the other side. Grab the vertical line, hold the Control key and multi-select the arc, and again add that tangent relation. Now everything looks good. I can click on my arc here. I see my tangent relations coming up in the green boxes here. Now I have the general shape looking good, which I've done throwing in a few relations, and I might just want to finish it off with some dimensions, give it some exact sizing. So for all my dimensions, I'll just go to my Sketch tab and Smart Dimension. And the Smart Dimension tool, very easy to use. You just click on whatever entities you'd like to dimension. So let's say I want to dimension the height of this sketch or this line here. So I just click once on the line. It gives me that dimension. Then I click again to place that dimension wherever I'd like. I'm going to place it on the outside here. Then as soon as I place this modify box pops up, and this is where I can enter in that dimension. So I'm going to say maybe 2 inches. And just type in 2 and hit enter or hit the green check. And now my dimension has changed and it's automatically resized to 2 inches there. And what's nice about the Smart Dimension is that the dimension will change automatically based on whichever entities I'm selected on. So for example, if I'm selected on a line, it will give me a linear dimension. But if I select on an arc or a circle, it gives me a radius dimension. So I'll just click on the arc here. And maybe I want this radius value to be 1.25. Now I have the general shape. I have relations and dimensions given. It's looking pretty good. Is there anything I'm missing or any dimensions or relations I'm missing here? How can I tell or how can I see this? So one thing that is very important is if a sketch is underdefined or fully defined. So if I just look down here, I can see that my sketch currently is underdefined. So what that means is that essentially it's missing something, either a dimension or a relation. Something hasn't been yet defined. Once everything is given, everything is defined, this will change to fully defined, and the color of my sketch will actually change from a blue to a black. So how do I see what I'm missing? Because maybe right now it's a little bit difficult to see exactly what dimension or relation I'm missing. So what I like to do whenever I'm missing anything is click and drag on whatever's blue. So maybe just click and drag on anything blue and see what changes. Okay. So here we can see it looks like the shape is pretty well defined. It doesn't seem to be changing shape too much. It looks good to me. The only really thing that is changing when I click and drag is my location of where this actual sketch is. So generally you want to tie down your sketch, and where you'd like to tie that down is somewhere to the origin. Generally you'd want to tie your sketch to your origin in some way, and whichever way seems most efficient to you. So in this case, maybe I want my sketch starting from the bottom left corner. So I'm going to tie this bottom left corner to my origin point. And how can I do that? Again, it's just a relation. So I can multi-select. I can grab the origin point, hold down the Control key to multi-select, and grab my lower left point. And again, I have a couple of relations. I have horizontal, vertical, and I also have coincidence. That means it's going to be right on top of each other. That's the one I'm looking for. So I'm going to try and make coincident here. Notice now my sketch has jumped right into the corner of the origin there, and it looks like my sketch has turned from blue to black, indicating it's fully defined, and also it's telling me it's fully defined here. So now I have all the dimensions and all the relations required to fully define this sketch.